Okay, today's video is going to be on how to disassemble the KJ Shadow 2 lower receiver. I know there's a few videos on YouTube out already, but I thought I'd give my take. Okay, so this is a Shadow 2 Orange. This is not actually a factory gun. This is a full custom gun using CL Project design, slide frame, and outer barrel and other parts, as well as lock grips. However, the disassembly is exactly the same as the factory lower receiver. Okay, so first of all, of course, remove the magazine, put that aside. Sorry, real still have it, make sure chamber is clear. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is take off the slide, which is push back so the two notches meet, push out the slide stop, put that aside, take off the slide. I will do a separate video on disassembling the slide later. Slide is also full CLPD custom parts, apart from the hop-up chamber, which is next speed. So anyway, I'm going to put that aside for the moment. Okay, right, before we continue, a few words. Very important to have the correct tools. So make sure you've got the, correct size screwdrivers, pin punches, etc. One thing that really annoys me sometimes when I see YouTube videos of people disassembling guns, whether they be airsoft guns or sometimes real steel guns, is people just taking a screwdriver and fucking whack, 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 and scratching the gun to shit. So what you're going to need with the, what I recommend for disassembling the Shadow 2 frame is for the grip screw, make sure you have the correct size tool, whether it's this, well, not Allen key, it's a Torx head key, or screwdriver with a Torx head bit. I really recommend, not just for the Shadow 2, but if you work on guns, there's a few things. Get yourself a good, gunsmith screwdriver set. Very, very important. I also highly recommend getting yourself a set of pin punches. So you've got some steel punches, brass punches, and plastic punches for punching out pins. Very, very important. Also, an armorer's block is also quite good for when you need to punch out pins, so you don't have the gun directly on your table and you're not punching pins into your table. Also, a rubber mat for working on. Something which has indentations. Like this, you can put small parts in so you don't lose them, or get yourself a little metal tray or bowl, whatever, magnetic tray for putting pins and other parts in so you don't lose them. Right, so what we're going to do first then is just remove the grip screws, and again, make sure you're using 2 fingers to hold whatever tool you're using, and then whether it's a screwdriver or a key like this, just so it doesn't slip out and end up scratching or buggering the screw head or the gun. So we take that out, lift out the grips, and put the screw in there, and just put those aside for the moment. Then we do the other side. Okay, take off the screw, put the grip aside. So now we have the frame with the grip off. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is remove the hammer spring housing. So this housing actually holds the hammer spring as well as the valve knocker. So this just requires punching out 2 pins. So for this, I am going to use my pin punches. I'm going to use my armorer's block, and I'm going to use my little hammer. Okay, so for doing this, I recommend having the hammer cocked. It doesn't really matter which pin you punch out, the bottom one or the top one. I usually punch out the top one first. So make sure you've got good control of the punch so you're not going to slip and mar the frame, and make sure you've got where the pin is going to come out above a hole in your armorer's block. So the pin will just drop nicely into the hole. So we gently hammer that out. Okay, and then you see the hammer housing pops forward under spring tension. Now we're going to punch out, sorry, words are hard. Punch out the bottom pin. Okay, there we go. And now I can just remove the hammer housing. We're not going to fully disassemble this because it's very rare you will need to. There are 3 springs in here. So you have your hammer spring inside this brass or copper tube. And then you have 1 spring here. Now, to remove this spring, you just need to punch out this little brass tube here. We're not going to do it on camera, it's just simply punching it out. Now, in 4 or 5 years of using building Shadow 2s, I have never had this spring fail or get weak enough that it stops working. It is very easy to take out though. In fact, what the hell, we will do it. So all we do is, again, it comes out very easy. Now you do want to make sure, put your hand around it. Sorry, not all the way out yet. Just push it out. Put your finger, so where the spring is here, just put your finger or your hand around it to make sure the spring doesn't fly out under tension. So there, I've pushed the pin out. And now the spring just falls into my hand. So we'll put that aside safely. So here we have our valve knocker assembly. You can further disassemble this by punching out this pin here. There is a spring inside here as well. I have, again, never had these parts fail, never needed to disassemble it. The only reason I've disassembled this part is that when I'm installing steel hammer housing and steel trigger, I will sometimes polish this surface here and this surface here. So anyway, there we have our brass or copper tube that goes in there. We're going to put that aside. And on my mat, under the armorer's block, I have the 2 pins for the hammer housing. Now, the first one or two times you disassemble a Shadow 2, I would recommend maybe putting the parts in different trays, or separating the parts. What I mean is you have all your parts for your hammer housing here, or your parts for your trigger group here, just so you don't mix them up. After you've done this a few times, you will be able to recognize these and you know which pins are which. But for the first few times, just separate them, just so you don't get things mixed up. Now, if you want to take out your hammer spring, again, all you do is just use a punch, push it from this side. Make sure you keep your hand over it because there's the plunger and the spring is going to fly out. So I'm just going to push here gently, push it out, make sure it's cupped in my hand, and now it's out. So you see, I've actually got one of the CL Project Design hammer springs in there already, and that's the little plunger that just sits on top there. It goes back in there, and then this hammer strut pushes down. So we put those aside. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to remove the small grub screw. Don't know if you can see this, just here, which locks in the right side safety. I would recommend using a good quality screwdriver bit for this rather than an Allen key, because it is a very small set screw. The hole diameter is 0.9 mm. So that's a 0.9 mm Allen key. However, I found with Allen keys they are of varying quality. Some will be up to dimensional specs, some will not. So I would prefer to use correct size screwdriver bit. And if you can see that there, that's, it focuses, yeah, you can maybe see that's 0.9. One of the reasons, because you get a bit more control with this and you can apply a bit more downward pressure. So we put our screwdriver bit in, apply downward pressure and gently turn. We don't want to force it. Now, it's not strictly essential to use this screw. There you go, tiny little screw, see? We can focus on that. No, camera doesn't want to focus, okay. There we go. The safety will stay in. It may be a little bit loose on the right side, but it's still going to work and function fine. So we're going to just put this aside, keep it nice and safe. Right, now is the tricky part. So another tool I haven't mentioned, which is very important, is you need to have something. Okay, so to remove the safety, sorry, let me go back a bit. To remove the safety, you need to lift up this front leg of the sear spring. Now, this is a CLPD hammer housing. You can see, let me use a different pick. So you can see this area, this hole is rounded. On the factory hammer housing, it's not rounded, it's flat. And there's very little space to put something in to lift up the sear spring off the indentation in the safety to be able to pull out the safety. So this is one reason I like the CLPD steel hammer housing, because it has this rounded cut to let you get something in there. If you've got a factory hammer housing, what I normally do is I will use a Dremel, and I will Dremel this hole rounded as well to make it easier. Now, one thing I normally use, which I forgot to prepare for this demo, is a toothpick. And if you excuse me just for a second, I will be back. All right, there we go. Now, this might be a little bit difficult to do on camera, so we'll So what we want to do is we just get our pick in there, we lever up the spring, and then we use a toothpick. We'll just put a toothpick under the spring to keep the spring up and out of the corresponding groove in the safety. And now we can just gently pull out the safety. Again, it's always a bit tricky doing this on camera. Now, one thing I would advise normally is also keep your hand above the safety, because there is the little spring-loaded part in there. Okay, this can sometimes be a bit tight to get out. It's coming. Okay, there we go. Right, now we just rotate the right side safety up. That just simply lifts out. Put that aside, and I'm going to show you something with the left side safety. So the left side safety, you have this little silver part here with a spring. So this is kind of like a detent here. It's what makes the safety click up and down. So again, putting your hand over this, gently slide this out. Okay. So you can see the spring. You can probably see the spring in there. Now this spring, sorry, it's a bit bent at the top, but it's still functional. This spring would normally will just fly out. It will pop out. What I always do is I have a little trick. I'll just put a little bit of super glue on the tip of a toothpick, put it on the end of the spring, put the spring in there. And if I want to pull out the spring, it's still easy to pull out, but the super glue just stops it from flying out, because during disassembly, I've disassembled and reassembled Shadow 2s, so many times now. I've lost count of the number of these springs that I've lost. They just, fly across the room and get lost because they are tiny. I shall probably replace this one because the end is getting a bit bent, although it is functional. But yeah, that's a tip I recommend. Just tiny dab of super glue just to hold the spring in place so you don't lose it. Right now, all we do is we have this plunger here. Again, we just take a punch gently. Now this should just come up with minimal force. Yep. Just slide that out. You can see it's sticking out there. I just pull that out, put that aside. Right now, I can just lift out, oh sorry, no, one more step. We have the hammer pin here. So from the right side of the pistol, again, I can just push that out with the correct size pin punch. You see the head of that pin has a groove in it for the other pin that we just pushed out before. So now I can just lift out the hammer housing. Okay, so to disassemble the hammer housing, okay, we can get rid of this toothpick for the moment. We don't need that. So first of all, we can just push out this tube, brass or copper tube here, and this only requires a little bit of pressure to come out. Just push that out with a punch, pull it out with our fingers, and then our hammer and hammer strut will come off. Unless you are changing your hammer, I would not disassemble this further. You can punch out this pin here to remove the hammer strut, but this pin is in quite tightly. So unless you need to change your hammer, for example, you want to change a different style of hammer, or your hammer, hammer hooks are worn for the half cock and full cock notch, then don't bother removing the hammer strut. I never do. So that is, going back to the hammer housing. So this is the CLPD steel hammer housing, and you can see I have filed and polished this in a few different areas, which is usually necessary to fit it to the frame to have it functioning correctly. But we'll go over that in a separate video. Right, disassemble this further. You have one more pin, which is the pin that holds in the sear. So this pin goes all the way through the hammer housing, and it holds in the sear and the sear spring. So again, all we do, we just put this on our armorer's block. Don't even need the hammer. I can just push it straight out and then tap the sear and the sear spring. So there's our sear and there's our sear spring. So whenever you take these out, it's a good idea, just do a visual check for wear. Make sure there's no wear to the sear engagement surfaces. Make sure the spring doesn't look deformed. If you've got, a bag of spare springs, you can just visually compare it. This looks okay to me. We're going to put this aside. So that's our hammer housing completely disassembled. All right. So next we have our trigger and trigger bar to take out. So the first thing we're going to do is we have two pins we need to remove. We have the trigger pin here, and then we have this pin which holds in this block that the hammer sits in. This is one of the few parts, there's no aftermarket parts. This is why at the moment you still can't build a Shadow 2 completely from aftermarket parts. You still need a base Shadow 2 gun to build up from. I have heard the 5KU frame actually has this built in as part of the frame, but from what I've seen from photos, it seems like it uses a proprietary slide stop pin, which again, if you'd lose it, you'd be fucked. And generally, I'm not a fan of 5KU parts. They tend to be very dimensionally out of spec. All right, so anyway, going back to the disassembly. So again, we put our Shadow 2 on our armorer's block, use our punch, control it nicely, put it on top of the hammer pin, and just gently tap out the hammer pin. There we go. Hammer pin out. Right, next, this pin here. So what we're going to do, we're going to lay our Shadow 2 on the armorer's block. We're going to find a small punch. Sorry, other side. Okay, we're going to, now normally I'll be using a magnifying headset. So we find where that pin is here, making sure we're not touching the frame. So we don't want to scratch up the frame, and we just gently tap, tap, tap. And you see that will partially push out the pin. We can then generally pull it out with finger pressure. Keep your hand over here because there is the slide stop spring underneath this pin. So we don't want that flying out. So there you go, that little pin removed. Put that in our pile of parts. And I can just tap. And there we have our hammer housing, sorry, our trigger housing, our trigger and our trigger bar. And the little spring I mentioned, which is the slide stop spring, that normally sits here. Like this. And that pin we just pushed out sits on top of it. So again, we put that in our pile of parts. If you do lose any springs where you're disassembling, CO Project Design do sell a set of factory replacement springs. I recommend buying 1 or 2 bags just to keep on hand, because shit happens and springs do go flying off into the void sometime. All right, so to remove our trigger, there is a hollow brass or copper, sorry, I can never remember which metal it is, pin here holding the trigger into the trigger block. Again, we can just generally sometimes push that out very easily. Sometimes it's in a bit tight. So we put our trigger block on our armorer's block, gently tap that out. That's now come out, put that in our pile of parts. So we now have this trigger block completely disassembled. And then we have our trigger and trigger bar. So this is the CLPD 7075 aluminium double action trigger and CLPD steel trigger bar, which has some polishing and filing done on it. All right, if you want to disassemble this further, you can tap out this pin here. Again, be careful because, oh no, sorry, missed a stage. Sorry. When you tap out the pin holding the trigger, there is also the trigger spring. So again, be careful of that. So that will come out. This can be a bit tricky to get back in if you don't have the correct tools. That's why I recommend, if you are going to be frequently disassembling and reassembling shadows, invest in one of these real steel shadow tool trigger spring tools. This is used to hold the spring and help you get it back in place. Can be done without it. It's a bit more tricky though. So if you want to remove the trigger from the trigger bar, again, put your trigger on your armorer's block and push out the pin. Sometimes the pin is tight, sometimes it's loose. You can saw this one I just pushed out. So trigger is now off. That's the trigger pin. That's the trigger bar. All right, so Our Shadow 2 is now nearly completely disassembled. We have one last step to do, and that is removing the magazine catch. Okay, so you see we have this screw, Phillips head screw in here. This screw goes around a plastic disc and it pushes down on this trigger bar spring here. Spring on both sides. And it also holds in, if you can see it here, it also holds in the magazine catch spring as well. This spring you can see here. So you've got two springs in play here. So what we're going to do, we're going to get our screwdriver set, find the correct size, a correct size screw head which will fit. Let me just check. Yep, that'll do. We're just going to then, again, applying pressure and slowly turning. So we're going to take out, that's our trigger bar spring. This applies upward pressure to the trigger bar. Plastic disc, so the spring goes around the disc and then the screw goes through it. When you're putting this back, I would recommend using some thread locker, medium strength blue thread locker, a Loctite 241 I think it is. So this goes in our pile of parts. So you can see now the magazine spring, there's nothing holding it in. Magazine catch spring, sorry. We can just take that out, put that in our pile of parts, and now the magazine catch will just slide out. So there's a magazine catch. Two-piece, so this is again CLPD part, steel magazine catch, which I highly recommend over the factory pot metal part, an aluminium 3-position magazine button, so it can be rotated so a horizontal position or up or down, just by taking out this Allen head screw here, which I'm not going to do. I think you guys can figure out how to do that yourself. So now the frame is completely disassembled. Easy peasy. So later we will do a separate video on how to reassemble it.